Hey there, I am live and I am just getting this all straightened away. Now, before I start today's video, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to open up this Fresca. Because even when I don't have the bubbly, I do kind of lean towards kind of grapefruit flavored drinks. Which is really weird. I'm not actually a grapefruit person. I'm never one of those guys that goes out and buys like a big grapefruit and kind of has that for breakfast or anything like that. But apparently, if you make a grapefruit flavored pop, I'm all there for it. Anyway, the video I'm making today is on unique and different box sets. This is probably definitely going to be one of umpteen that'll come up down the road. But I did pick some unique and different ones. And why I am making this video, I want to get this out of the way right now and give props and credit where credit is due. Today I watched a fantastic video by a Serial Midnight. So if you have not checked out his channel, make sure you do. And if you're not checked out the website Serial Midnight, I recommend it highly. I strongly recommend that both the YouTube channel and the website. There's great content on both of those. Now he did a video kind of on the evolution of like kind of the packaging through the years, like from the snapper cases on up to the different type of like the Mill Creeks and all that type of stuff. So, hey David. So today what I'm doing is a little different than that, but it was definitely inspired by that. So this video, 100%. Props to Serial Midnight for kind of like giving me the genesis, the spark to make this video. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to look into some of the different unique style of box sets that were out there. So I'm actually going to open up a few different sets that I have, some unique ones, and some you may have. Hopefully most of these you've heard of. Just some different stuff and some stuff that may not always get shown on the channel. But here we go, and I don't really know where to start first, so I'm just going to grab one and we'll go with that. One that I get asked about a lot, and I get asked about whenever I go into the secret room, which harbors a lot of my TV stuff. I get asked did I ever get, hey Kenneth, welcome back dude. Did I ever pick up the Man from U.N.C.L.E. set, like one of the ones that came out? And yes, I did actually. I got it when it first came out, so it was a bit, hey Movie Madness. Thanks. That was a long video, but actually I had fun with it. You know, it was a couple bumps along the way at the beginning, but I think overall it went pretty good. This is actually the Man from U.N.C.L.E., the complete series. This is the original series, and I'll open it up to show you guys what it looks like on the inside. So obviously, being the Man from U.N.C.L.E., nice, the guys go out. See, perfect. Then you came in for the right video. It's comes off like a briefcase. And hopefully I got it on the right side, because you never know these things, right? Yes, I do. So it opens up like this, and you can see Dave McCallum, and of course, there you go. But it has I think around 4 seasons, and they're all done like this. So I'm just going to take one out just to give you an idea what the seasons kind of look like. I won't go through all 4 of them, obviously, because you won't really need it. It's just going to be kind of Robert Vaughn. Thank you. I totally blanked. And you picked up on that right away, so I actually appreciate that, because I have those blanking moments. Getting older, that's it, right? So this is season 1, and this is how all the seasons are done. So it slips out. It's got the translucent like cover, which, as you know, they can get pretty dirty sometimes. And it opens up, and it's pretty much like standard of what you'd expect for a series like this. Now there is a book down there as well, like a booklet that goes with it. This is actually neat. The way that it's done, it breaks it up. You get like 29 episodes, and then you get like an extra DVD with like bonus footage and all the kinds of cool stuff. Ah, there you go. So each season has its own booklet, and it's right in the back. And it's very well put together. There's Robert Vaughn. Thank you, David. Right there, and I love this picture. It's very intense. It's very like Daniel Craig, James Bond, isn't it? So this is, of course, talks about the season. Goes through it, gives you an episode guide with an air date list, and then a reunion movie. Oh yeah. I think on this set. Hey Corey, Corey recently did a new video, which you guys got to check out. I think on this set here, I think they got the reunion movies as well. I got to check, because you got me curious now. I'm pretty sure they included pretty much everything on the set. There was 2 of these sets done. There was like a less bulky set, but I'm a bells and whistles type of guy, so I do get these I do have to pick up these sets here like this. I'm such a kid. I'm like a 4-year-old. So let's try, whoops, and get out the last set. Ah, here we go. So hidden underneath all that, there is this. So just like a secret agent would do, there's a secret little thing at the bottom of the briefcase called the bonus discs. So the first bonus disc has a ton of like features on it, like featurettes, interviews, promos and trailers, all that type of stuff. And there's a second disc here that has like, again, like talks with Richard Donner, who directed episodes, talks with Robert Vaughn. There's like TV appearances, like them on like on the Andy Williams show, and showing them on at the Emmys, a Tom and Jerry cartoon, dealing with the Man from U.N.C.L.E. So there's that bonus stuff hidden down at the bottom, which is actually really kind of cool. I do like when they do something like that. It makes for a more intriguing. I want to make sure I get these in the right order. I'm super OCD about this stuff. Am I getting closer to? Wow. Okay. I don't keep up with the with the numbers anymore because I figure it's going to stay close to where it's at. But if it's gotten closer to 2,000, that's fantastic. See if we can get 2,000 soon. Maybe I do like a 2,000 like subscriber contest or something like that if I ever reach it. I got a feeling it's probably a while before I have to do that, but you know, we'll keep that in mind as something to do. Now, here's a different type of spy series in a different type of packaging. So you look at the Wild Wild West, great show, by the way. I love this series. I used to watch this when I was a kid. Used to come on Saturdays. Obviously, it was in reruns. I'm not old enough to have seen this in its original. If you've never seen this and you've only seen the movie, good Lord, my God, please watch this. It's so much better. Its packaging, however, leaves a bit to be desired. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, there is some great stuff with this packaging. There is the booklet, all 4 seasons. There's one thing that I consider super cool, which is just like right here, from the Wild Wild West. If you've seen the series, you know what that is. It's from the opening. But these are definitely unique packaging. I'll keep my fingers crossed. So it's not bad, but it's not great. It's stacked packaging. So I'm going to show you guys here. So you see this? So it's really the DVDs are just stacked one after another with a cardboard like thing they're designating season 1 from season 2. So, and it's not exactly the best like put together, as you can see, right? It's interesting, it's nice, it's like a holster type of thing. I get what they were going with, but I do find it a bit on the odder side, packaging wise, when it comes to the stuff. And I love Wild Wild West. Yeah, it is like, and especially that one where it is like, it is very opened up. It seems like, these, I'll show you one more time, because this is the thing that bothers me. It seems like this could, this is just cardboard. So this could easily, could come undone, could tear, if something like that happens, and then all the discs like go flying all over the floor, you know what I mean? And then chance of scratchy discs, like there's chance of scratchy discs when they're stacked, yes, but chance of scratchy discs when, it can fly out type of thing. Yeah, that's a stronger, that's a bit of a letdown. I actually I've been meaning to do this for a while, and I do recommend this. If you get something like this and doesn't have the greatest packaging, keep this, display it, that type of thing. But then take these discs and like get some, like some people get like the books where you can put them in, and or like the different cases, and you can just put them in there so that you got them on hand, and they're not going to get scratched up. They do, actually. They do fall in love with the snazzy packaging sometimes. In the, hey, 13th Wolfman, we are talking some pretty cool packaging and some not so cool packaging. But I went over the Man from U.N.C.L.E. set right here, and I just mentioned the not so great packaging. You probably got it actually, because you do like a lot of the same stuff that I like. The Wild Wild West series packaging, which isn't, as you can see, it's kind of iffy. Great show, iffy packaging. And once again, if you've just came in, this video was completely inspired by Serial at Midnight. It's you can get it sometimes for fairly cheap. I just recommend if you get it, like put it in like in a book or something like that, because the packaging is kind of like iffy when it comes to the way that it's done. Now, when it comes to like going all out and going like really nuts with their packaging, you wouldn't expect anything less from a series that was kind of different and kind of unique, and that would be Lost, the complete series. So this is Lost. Now, the first thing you see is like you can see the it's all done in kind of a black, kind of a matte finish type of thing. Now, what's really cool about this is if you I don't have it in here now because I lost it in the move, but there's a black light originally. It is crazy, isn't it? So I have a black, it has a black light, flashlight, and if you shine it, and with 13 Wolfman can kind of test this, if you shine it at certain portions of this this here, there's actually some secret messaging that you can find out. So I've got to remember how I open this one now. So this one gets even more neat as you open it up. Now, on the series Lost, ran for 6 seasons, and so this is the interior of the packaging. I think it's actually really, really well done. So it opens up like this. Now, on the series Lost, there's this kind of like fictional game that's made up that they play on the island, and that game with a game board is included within the series packaging itself. So right off the bat, you're gonna get a game board. You can play the game that they played on Lost. It does. It literally does have a board game with it. That's actually what's kind of cool. Hey Ben, welcome to getting on here, and welcome to the movie club. So as it opens up, you can see in here. I'm gonna try and let you guys see in here. So it has the pieces that you use to play the game on here. I'll just let you see. Like you see, they're done like, pretty much like rocks, and the it's insanely good stuff, man. Now there's openings on both sides. Now on the second side of this, we have the Ankh sim from Lost, and we have a letter here as well. Now there's a bit more to this, so bear with me. So you open it up and you get this here booklet, and then you get Lost, the series. So the seasons are all done in this here. So see this long, like, complete series booklet. I would love to be, I'm in North Sydney, Nova Scotia, which is also extremely cold. So here's like season 6, for instance. So it's done like this, and I'll open it up and show you guys. It's actually decent packaging. I don't mind it. Some people aren't fans of the style packaging, but I actually don't mind this. I think Slider is the only series to ever do that kind of like this foam casing, because it's the only one that I know that has done that. That I've never seen that in any other like series, or seemed like a Sliders thing, So anyway, as you can see, really well done. You even get the board game, which you can actually play. And there was originally a black light flashlight, which 13 Wolfman probably has, and I had to actually go out and buy another black light. Me either. It was such an odd way to do it, but I understand, like, the foam thing and the different discs meaning different parallel dimensions. So that's why. That's the way I took it for Sliders. Was that it was different. Disc was kind of dealing with a different parallel dimension. Is that what you took it? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I have an overactive imagination. All right. So next up is one that I think most film fans are probably got, and I've upgraded since, and that is the Dark Knight Trilogy, the limited edition one that came out from Christopher Nolan. So this actually, it's a great set. This one actually is number 123,884 of 141,500. And yes, there was a time when 141,000 was considered very limited. You first thing you get for like it's floating. Oh, really? Maybe it's just a floating look. I have a weird imagination. So basically, that's like a Christopher Nolan put like a letter, and it first off you see the the infamous symbol. So what you get first with this one, you get a book, and I'm sure most people here that are watching this probably has this set. And these are all, this is a Blu-ray set, so it makes it a little bit easier for these here. We can see the Heath Ledger. I watched American Horror Story Cult last night. I actually binged it in one day. And Evan Peters pretty much plays the Joker type of character. Why hasn't anybody ever thought of getting like Evan Peters to do like a Joker, a Heath Ledger style Joker role? He's really, really good at it. The newest American Horror Story, by the way, was just announced, and it is going to be all about slasher films. Yeah, the Air Medal, I think. I'm going to check them right now. This is the Dark Knight Trilogy. This is a kind of a book, not just more of a picture book than anything else. And as we try to, this thing I'm not going to lie to you, this thing is horrible to open up. It really is. So this here are the infamous art cards, and infamous on the word art. They do, like, this is not your standard like art card. Nothing is standard when it comes to the Nolanverse. I don't think he really he dives into the art in the aspect of it, and I actually really appreciate that. Yeah, American Horror Story 1984, and it's the slasher one. I'm actually super stoked about that. I'm a huge slasher fan, Ben. So it'll be interesting to see where American Horror Story goes with that. I have not seen Apocalypse yet. I think it was last season. I do watch the season pretty much. You really don't like Batman Begins? I'm weird, and I'm not gonna lie in the fact that I like. Batman Begins is probably my favorite of the three, but I do kind of like The Dark Knight Rises in a weird way. It's in a campy way. It's definitely the schlockiest, campiest of the Batman films. I you know me guys, I like the schlock. So I don't have them open. I'm going to assume they're metal because they look very metal-esque. For me, my favorite Batman film. Well, you guys know I'm old school. I'm a huge fan of. The Dark Knight's a fantastic crime film. My favorite Batman film, though, is still the... it's very self-indulgent. That's actually what I like about it. Not even a joke, you know. That's the self-indulgence is actually what I enjoy about that film. But my favorite Batman film, you guys probably know this already, is I like the first two. And I don't mean the first two of the Nolan trilogy. I like Batman. And I like Batman Returns. I love those. And of course, who doesn't love the 1968 Batman film where he has to where he's saved from with shark repellent? Gotta love that. And of course, everybody's favorite, Mask of the Phantasm. That one should be talked about more. The Burton films, I went to the first one on a broken leg to see because that's how much I wanted to see this film. I was one of the only people that came at that time that was like, when Michael Keaton was announced, I was like, that's perfect. And all my friends were like saying, you know, Michael Keaton, he's Mr. Mom. He can't be Batman. Yes, he can. He could, and he was perfect for the role. Unlike Christian Bale, who's a really good actor that just never, for me personally, never believed it. Affleck could have been an amazing Batman. Just the writing, man. It's just the writing. You got to get out of the Zack Snyder stuff. Because he literally looked like, when they show him, yeah, he did a great job and he did the best he could do, Adrian. And the thing is that he literally looked exactly like Bruce Wayne does in the animated series. when you look at the animated series and you see him and the suit and you know the physique that he has and the great temples, when you see that in the show, that's, you know, that he looks like he just jumped off the screen from the animated series. He does a great job. Nobody thought Ben Affleck was going to do a great job. I love this set, actually. I actually fluked onto this set. I went to I was gone to this to Kijiji, basically. To this guy had these sets that he was selling, and this wasn't listed. And season 4 is for me the best season. So I like the way this is done. Of course, this is done to look like, you know, his box that he has with the blood samples in them, and we get like. You get all the different seasons in here from season 1 to season, right up to season 8. There's the bonus features disc as well, and they're all done to be like this. It's red to make it kind of look like, you know, a red blood sample type of thing. So that's kind of neat, and it'll actually let you know what's on here, for instance. So it'll bring you, when you take this out, it'll let you know what's on here. So for instance, this one here has, you know, the evolution of Dexter Morgan, the code, interviews with the actor, the Rubin Museum of Art special presentation inside Dexter. Look, now there's also an art book with this as well. I actually got that put in a in my other room there because it was getting. I found that it could get bent up a bit in here, so I did actually end up taking it out. And again, huge fan of Dexter. I really got to rewatch this. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I was one of the people that didn't mind the way that it ended. I know some people were like super angry about that, like the ending. And I won't say it just in case somebody hasn't seen the series. I know it's been finished for a while and they're like thinking of bringing it back type of thing. But there's still, I'm guessing there's people out there that that have yet to have stumbled upon, or at least have to finish the series Dexter. I think it's worth finishing. The Fresca's really good. It's much sweeter than my bubbly though. All right. Oh, it's true. That's the thing. And that's the way you got to take it. Ah, see, then you're in for a treat, especially season 4. Now, I got like 3 of the, I got seasons 2, 3, and 4 of the special editions for these, but I just wanted to bring down like the best one. Oh, really? I like the father thing. And this is The Walking Dead, of course. So this is season 2. And this is probably the most infamous of the seasons that were done. Like the 3rd season has the I got upstairs. Hey, Andy Phantom, welcome, dude, and Sasha. As the what you call it, the heads in the aquarium type of thing, and the 4th season has the tree zombie, which I liked. Oh, dude, Walking Dead's actually, in my opinion, has gotten pretty good over the last season. So, and season 2, I really like season 2. Some people are iffy on season 2, but this one of my favorite seasons until the governor came up. And the governor, best villain ever The Walking Dead ever had, in my opinion. I really like the governor. I think that, you know, that kept the show going for a while. I do think that they made some mistakes by taking out certain characters that lived in the comic. But doesn't this have one of the most Fulci-esque looking zombies you've ever seen? Can you imagine a fan of, actually that'd be kind of cool, a Fulci zombie set with made up season 4. It's fun. Like give it a chance. Like it has this, you know, every show that goes on for a long period of time, it has its high moments and it's kind of its lower moments. But I think, you know, the journey overall, it's kind of worth it. And yes, this very much is a Fulci zombie season on the inside, and it's one of my favorite sets that I own. I at one point, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even joking, I had thought about, when I was trying to formulate my channel and how I was doing it, I thought about kind of using this guy as a co-host for a certain period of time. David Morrissey is fantastic. One of my favorite things, Mr. Gallagher, is a show by the name of Blackpool, which I'm sure you're very familiar with. And That's a David Morrissey show with David Tennant from Doctor Who. That's one of my favorite sets, and I would kind of like to see Can-Be sculpt a Fulci zombie head. You know, the zombie head with like the infamous zombie head from the, if you got the recent Blue Underground thing, I'd love to see something like that. Oh, the Red Riding trilogy. I actually don't have all of that. I actually only got the first one or two. He was in the next Doctor. Yeah, that was kind of like a wink and a nod, because people actually did want David Morrissey to be the next Doctor. And also, I'm a huge fan of Blackpool, Viva Blackpool. It's okay, but doesn't capture the magic the same way. But all of it is better than Viva Lockman. Let's not even go there. So this is the Tour of Duty Complete Series set. Now this one, pretty standard. It's just that I don't normally get to show this one. I actually was a huge Tour of Duty fan. Great show with the amazing, oh, Medium is fantastic. I love Patricia. Patricia Arquette is on that Google Doc list, 13th Wolfman. I'm a huge fan of Terrence Knox. And, you know, I grew up like watching shows like St. Elsewhere, which was a real mind trip of a show if you ever saw it. And Terrence Knox played Dr. Peter White in on the series St. Elsewhere. And if you've never seen St. Elsewhere, then worth checking out the character of Peter White especially. So this is Tour Duty. Actually, I totally disagree. I think St. Elsewhere has one of the best series finales of all time. A good show to watch with this indie fandom is another show that came on around the same time called China Beach, which actually starred Dana Delaney, who I know as also the voice of Lois Lane in Superman the Animated Series. But I love the ending to St. Elsewhere. It's such a weird, strange, like, meta ending for the show. And if you've never seen it, I won't ruin it for you. But I thought it was such a cool way to go with it. It was back in the day when shows really took those chances. It wasn't as a hottie. She is a hottie. So I'm just going to open this one up here because it comes in like a box. And I got the first season of St. Elsewhere. I don't know if any other seasons were ever put out on Blu-ray, on DVD. You guys can let me know if that's a thing. Great show with an amazing theme song. Of course, is on here is "Paint It Black" from the Rolling Stones, which really got you in the mood for watching a Tour Duty. Now this one here runs like 5 discs, and I think the amount of episodes on this was pretty standard. I think like 20-ish episodes. Yeah, 20 episodes. David Morris, yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have a big box set of St. Elsewhere, which I actually would enjoy. And it would have to include somewhere, and you'll get the reference if you've seen the show. If they ever did a big box set of St. Elsewhere, you gotta have a snow globe, right? You gotta have a snow globe. You know, the show ran for 3 seasons, and each one of these are pretty hefty box sets. Oh man, I hate when they do that. When they just like bury a show. I'm gonna try and get this. My God, it's hard to get this thing in. I just put this in backwards. Treem. Do you know I have not seen much of Treem? I think I've just seen 1 episode. So it's one that I definitely got to look into. I try to keep some here that are different. Now, before I go any farther with the normal stuff, I wanted to put one of these on here because, hey, Brian, I hope you're enjoying the Criterion channel, by the way, because I sure am. I had to get one of these to show you guys. So this is a bootleg set. These usually come from, I think comes out of China, somewhere like that. But I was at a Treme. Oh, thanks. Now you can see, Sasha, how much I have not seen of the show. I even pronounced it wrong. So basically, I was buying some movies from somebody off of like I think off of Facebook once. a bit a few years back. I love the Criterion Channel. I love the curation and too, like the double features and all that, and the short films. Those have been really, really cool. I watched Hollywood Shuffle, and I watched Skunk actually, which was very interesting. But this is cool. This is different. So, and this was mentioned by Sir Midnight actually on his video. Like not this set, but like this type of stuff. Now this is the CSI like seasons 1 to 7 for the original series. On this is a you know, the bootleg set that came out. It's hard case. It actually, as far as the functionality goes, all the episodes are there. They work fine. There's no stoppage or anything like that. Oh, you're gonna like this one, Brian. You're gonna like this one. Trust me, because this one's hilarious. This is the one that is the original CSI Black Acting School. I love that, especially when the white guys are actually are trying to teach black guys how they should talk and act. There's a lot of good social commentary in that. Well, why do I think it's bootleg? Well, it would be because it's CSI. The back of it is talks about the Miami series. The credits of the film are for Jackie Chan's The Medallion. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. Yeah. I actually love The Wire. I really do, actually. Early Idris Elba, man. And it comes in these, like these, here, kind of like, I'll show you. Yeah. Hey, snowing. Well, I think we got some snow actually in Halifax right now. So actually, the discs themselves, you can see even the discs, they're kind of, you know, they're a bit, you know, they're off colored. Obviously, this is not what he looks like. But you know, did the job back in the day for I bought this for like $2, I think. And Sir Midnight doesn't like these sleeves. I actually do. I think they're kind of cool. Like he mentioned, was it VEI, I think, does some packaging on DVD that has kind of like a similar style packaging, and I actually really like this style of this type of slips. I'm a really big fan of them. So you know, and it is the first, you know, like the first 7 seasons, and so $2 for this, you know. Mill Creek still does, I think, for some of their DVD ones. I think they do it differently for their Blu-ray. But overall, it's a neat little thing to have, and I'm glad that I got it. You know, it's a fun little bootleg set for fairly cheap. Hey, Sculter, how's it going, dude? You know, it's a fun little bootleg set, and well packaged, aside from the fact that it says nothing about the show. But though, if I want to know who acted in Jackie Chan's The Medallion, or I wanted to know what CSI Miami was about, I just got to look on the back of my original CSI. You not come across the DVDs doing it? Now, see, you have more of them than I do, so you would definitely know. Maybe they've gone in a different direction. I know they change up the packaging like a bit, like trying to get to that sweet spot to see where they can actually keep it like affordable. Tutaki. I like CSI, but no, that being said, my favorite CSI is the one that most people like really kind of signed off on right away, and that's CSI New York. I like that one. It was a bit of a darker series. When it originally started, it had like a very different like kind of coloring, like tone. The cinematography was very different, more grittier, more darker, and they lightened it up afterwards because a lot of people complained about that. But it had Gary Sinise, and anything that has Gary Sinise in it, I'm not going to lie, I'm a huge Gary Sinise fan. I'm there. Criminal Minds Beyond Borders, loved it better than Criminal Minds. They went all over the world. Gary Sinise was in it. Gary Sinise was being his Gary Sinise badass self, and I'm a huge fan of Gary Sinise. I like the fact that Miami was just really different. It was pretty much CSI Miami is like CSI Miami Vice. It really is what it is. I like the more realistic approach. With series now, I find it's really hard, and I don't think a lot of shows anymore will do that, will tie things up in a bow, because there's always that chance, you know, of that movie down the road or that limited series down the road. They try to keep it opened up for something like that, because you never know. Revivals and reboots and remakes and all that are so big in Hollywood nowadays that I don't think any show, you know, they'll give like an ending, but I don't think you're going to get many shows now that are going to give a definitive ending anymore. Like, they may not like really anger the audience like Sopranos did, but they're not going to give you like the ending where basically, and everybody's dead and this is how that ended up type of thing. Tarantino moment, that was episode 100 actually. Great episode, had John Saxon, one of my favorite actors. My uncle, who was unfortunately passed on now, one of my favorite uncles actually, he actually looked exactly like John Saxon. Really great guy. So this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set. And I thought, you know, as you can see, this one here, I've managed to keep this one in like really good. Oh, you can't go TMNT, man. This is one of the classics. It's like Ghostbusters. Although TMNT is better than Ghostbusters. I know, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right there. So, I'm going to open this up. I don't open this one very often, so you all know to open this. All right. This, of course, is there's nothing. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle van. Now it opens up like this, and the discs, I love the disc, the way they're done with this here. You can see the different colors for the different seasons. They're you know, they're spaced, so you don't have to worry about scratching or anything like that. It's very easy to take them out and put them back in. There's no issues with any of that. You don't have to worry about any cardboard packaging. Turtles ran 10 seasons actually, so this is season 10 right here. And I always really love this. This is one of my favorites when it comes to like the way the packaging is done. Because, you know, after all, they are heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. It's really neat. Almost dropped it there, guys. Then you would have seen me crying, because this is one of the sets. I'm a huge fan of like I'm a huge cartoon fan, and I'm a super huge fan of like stuff like this, of this era. Oh yeah, here he's right. You couldn't say ninja, could you, over there? That always blew my mind. It's so weird because you couldn't have ninja there, but you guys have nudity like in your programs, like full-on, full-fledged nudity. But violence is something that that is kind of like more, and it's totally the opposite in North America. No, we don't have any nudity really, like until you got the HBO shows and Showtime and stuff like that. But you know, violence was like common occurrence on TV back in the 70s and 80s. Whenever you see violence all the time. Now, jokes were banned too. So this is the original Mystery Machine. This was re-released in a standard cardboard case. I actually got this. I found this brand new at a flea market, and I had the packaging, the original packaging too, that this came in, just as the way I did with the turtles. But I lost it. And a little while later, my better half is a huge Scooby-Doo fan. She's like a huge Scooby-Doo fan. And we had the chance to get another one of these. Now, these are packaged like this, and again, it's like not the best packaging. I'll show you. And we worry a bit with about like scratching and scuffing and that type of thing. So when we had the chance to get another one of these, we actually have two of these limited edition Scooby-Doo vans because of that, because we want to make sure. Is Canada more controlling of sex in movies and entertainment? No, man. No, there's actually a lot more, like, when it comes to, like, nudity and stuff like that. Even, like, some of our, like, a lot of our shows, especially if the shows are coming from, like French Canada, like, Montreal, Quebec, like, series like that. A lot of those, hey, Chet, welcome, dude. Enjoy your vacation. No, we're kind of slacker when it comes to nudity. So what year was the first series of Scooby-Doo made? It was made in the 60s. 69, perfect, thank you. The 13 Wolfman will know that. It's kind of fun because the 13 Wolfman knows that right away. And there's another YouTuber, another wolf, Dr. Wolfula. So the two wolves, they both know Scooby-Doo, and they know it well. Because I'm guessing many of us that grew up like watching horror and stuff like that, probably Scooby-Doo was one of those like early, it was an early like gateway drug to horror. Because you got to see all the monsters stuff on Scooby-Doo. Wolfman has a great channel, Adrian, by the way. It's my favorite crime TV series. Oh, man. I'm kind of old school. So I really liked shows like, I like Miami Vice. I love Miami Vice. That was a big show for me. Magnum PI, the original series, of course. But like those two stand out. Miami Vice, like shows like that. Like later on, there'll be shows like The Wire. Oz was a big show, and not really a crime show, I guess, but like Oz was a big show that I don't have it yet, but I've watched it several times, and I'm a super big fan of that series. A lot of great actors came out of the show Oz, especially if you watch the early season of Law and Order SVU. Then like almost the entire cast of Oz shows up on Law and Order SVU. Mission Impossible. Yeah. But that's more of a spy show. I don't really call that a crime show. But, yeah, and it shows like, of course, the Y50. There's so many of them. But Miami Vice comes to mind right away. I'm an 80s kid, and I love the music. I would love to have seen, like, I know they've done like a box set of Crime Story. I actually watched Crime Story the other day. I watched the first couple episodes. I've got the complete series down here, so I do enjoy like just putting it on and watching it every once in a while. And it's got a great soundtrack. That's the thing, though. I'm just the opposite. I'm the opposite side of the coin when it comes to Scooby-Doo. I really hate the supernatural Scooby-Doo. I think it ruins it. I'm a huge fan of the mystery aspect. I like Agatha Christie. I like the little gray cells being used, and I like the fact that it has a complete arc and a complete conclusion. And the thing is, Scooby-Doo is kind of fun, and the way that it's done is so that it doesn't matter if you know who the bad guy is. You're going to go back and watch it anyway, that type of thing. Kind of like in Midsummer Murders, and on a lighter scale. Drax just mentioned Nordic Noir, which is something that I do like. I can't watch it all the time. I do find that, as you know, if you watch any Nordic Noir, it's really depressing at times. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Nordic Noir can be very, very dark and very, kind of like, nobody's happy. Nobody's ever happy in Nordic Noir. If you're watching a Nordic Noir and he gets a girlfriend and you think, oh God, his life is going to get better now. No, either one, the girlfriend is going to be killed, or she's going to be a killer, or they're just going to have a really sucky relationship, and it's going to break off, and he's going to be even more depressed when the next series of episodes come out, because that's like part and parcel for what a Nordic noir is. That's not a criticism. It's actually just a style of that, and a lot. It's very dark, and it does fit. It is Nordic noir. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be downbeat. It's supposed to be kind of like it doesn't relent when it comes to stuff like that. No, I wouldn't consider Death on Paradise or a Nordic noir like style. Like it's much lighter. We saw someone in the back of the car. I did it. They always say, they talk that, you said, well, why does Perry Mason always win? Well, then they talk about the episodes where basically said, yeah, he loses a lot of cases. We just don't show those. But I think there's an episode or a movie where Perry Mason does kind of lose in a way, because he has somebody that's guilty. Maybe it's Matlock. Maybe I think the Matlock. Nordic Depression in Paradise. Life on Mars and Ashes were fantastic. Crime Show meets sci-fi fantasy. I'm a bigger fan of Life on Mars than I am of Ashes to Ashes. Not a lot of them. I mean, like, maybe I haven't seen as many of you as you have, Drax. Maybe that's the thing. Most of the Nordic noir shows that I have seen really aren't like super light. They're very dark. A Strip Nude for a Killer, fantastic. I love Edwidge Fenech. Anything that she's in. My favorite is still Strange Vices, Mrs. Ward, but Strip Nude for Your Killer is a lot of fun. And if I'm correct, that's Andre Bianchi, and Bianchi is like super crazy out there, puts everything in when he makes a film. Yeah, though if you can like point me towards more like the lighter Nordic noir stuff, maybe I can show my better half. No, that's okay. Oh, I'm like your mother. I like Matlock and Columbo and Murder, She Wrote. Oh, you're talking about Diagnosis Murder, I think. Diagnosis Murder was started as a series of movies, Brian, and then it turned into Shetland. Oh, I could check that out. And then it went from that into like a TV series. And after it ended, then Hallmark picked up like the actors from Diagnosis Murder, like picked up Dick Van Dyke and Barry Van Dyke, and he made a series very similar. It's called Murder 101. So if your mom has never saw that, it's like it was a short-lived, I think it was a movie series, ran like 4 or 5 movies, Murder 101, and it was fantastic. Pretty much the style of show that you saw back then, the style of show that your mother watched back in the day, like the Matlocks and stuff. People say they're not being done, but they are. They're just being done on the Hallmark Channel. You just go over and watch them. There's like a bunch of yards, like garage sale murders and Murder She Baked and Murder 101. A lot of that stuff is still being done. It's just being done on. Sorry, I didn't. Hopefully, I didn't put in like. I meant that as a good memory, so hopefully that's good. Happy Valley. I've never seen Happy Valley. I really like this. And as of yet, it has not made me burpy like some of the drinks that I take too. So you're drinking Fanta? What flavor? Is it grape? 13th Wolfman? Is it grape? I love Jello. It's one of my favorites. I mean, I grew up right on. My cousin actually, Raj, he's got grape Fanta. We are like, my cousin Roger and me, we're like brothers, and we talk usually on a regular basis, and that's what he's got now. It's tough, man. It can be like 1 year or 5 years. It's, you still feel it, but hopefully the good memories outweigh, the rest. I'm going through some issues right now with a family member, who I very much love. The Bill. Oh, I remember The Bill. They brought out like 1 season of it here in North America that I found. Bill the Complete, I think, was the first season. Well, thanks. It's unfortunate. people get older, and that's the way, you know. Anyway, are we going to release a figure? Yeah, I know. I'm actually super excited. I love I love Jello. And it's one of my favorite favorite genres. So you'll always see me like referring. I could be talking about film noir, or I could be talking about cartoons. I always refer back to Jello, because like Jello and slashers tend to be my two favorite genres. So that's why I'm so excited about American Horror Story '84. The Bill aspect of turning to a soap, like I'm gonna be upfront. I'm gonna be keeping it real. Oh God, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of like I grew up in the '80s when soap operas were like a huge deal. Like yeah, the nighttime soaps like Dynasty and Dallas and Knots Landing, Falcon Crest, all that stuff, man. Dynasty 2, the Colbys. I got to check out some. I'm going to be looking, Drax, some of your comments afterwards. I do like some of the some of that stuff. My better half used to watch one called Wallander, but it got really, really dark. Oh, the Bill's a series. It still is a series in Britain, I think. It's ongoing, right? And it started out like as a kind of like a crime show, and then it became much more of a of a soap operatic, like an ongoing serialized program. And I'm a big fan of the soap opera stuff. Crazier the better. Like I watched General Hospital. That was the one I grew up with when I was a kid in Santa Barbara. And if you've ever watched any of those shows, you're gonna know that they're super nuts. Oh man, yeah, the Kenneth Branagh version of Wallander. No, there's a different one, right? But she watched the Branagh one. It was like super depressing, like way depressing. Oh, Skinner, nice. I love that one. What's great about Skinner, aside from I love the film. EastEnders, duff, is Skinner has great special features. I hope you watch special features too. I've got Dark Shadows, and it's kind of like my better half bought me Santa Barbara. Oh, nice. The Dark Shadows set. Now at that time, like it was a huge coffin, but there were like some very much bootleg, like fake sets going out there, right? And I was super excited to get that big crazy coffin Dark Shadows set. And I watched like over 100 episodes. I never had an issue with any of the episodes, and I started getting messages on because I did an unboxing of it, and they said, "I think you got a bootleg set. I don't think that's the official set. I think you got like that somebody did a bit of a switcheroo and got you a bootleg set." They were right. I did actually get a bootleg set with the Dark Shadows one. Now, one thing I can say about the set is, bootleg or not, I never had any issues with it. It was bootleg. It was definitely not the right set. It's a shame, actually. But the set, all the features, all that stuff, all worked perfectly. I thought, David, I was getting the first edition coffin set, you know, with the signed card and all that from Jonathan Freed, Canadian like me, and at first I was like super disappointed that I didn't have the official set, but especially my better half, she was heartbroken because this was like a big gift for me, and she paid a bit for it. So for a while, and I'm going to be completely upfront here, I didn't tell her. I didn't want her to know. And every time somebody would come on to one of those older videos and they'd comment and they'd say, I think that's the bootleg. I erased it immediately. And then sometimes I'd send them messages and let them know. And just to say, I'm not erasing your thing because, I know you're right. It's just my better half, like, she went all out for this one. But yeah, that's what happened. So I do have the set up there. It is not the official one, but it looks exactly like the official one. I haven't listened to any of the big Finnish audios for Dark Shadows, though I have listened to quite a few of the Doctor Who ones. Lilyhammer's very light. Yeah. Oh, feel better. My better half actually is in bed right now for the same thing. She's got a bit of a bad headache. She came out. She just finished her day off work, and she came back, and her head was like it was pulsing. So she just had some food and just went to bed, crashed, took some medication. So I got my phone there turned up in case she needs anything. So if I got to run or anything like that, that's priorities. But yeah, that's the story behind my Dark Shadow set. Love it. Never ever had any issues with the set, but it's not the official set. I know it. But yeah, it's a big crazy ass coffin. If I ever had the chance to find the official set, would I get it? Yeah, I probably would. And even though my better half does know now that it's a bootleg set, if I had the chance to get it and switch it out without her knowing, I'll feel better, man. Like health, most important thing. Take some medication, rest up, Sasha, feel better. That's the important stuff. Yeah, I know. That's why I don't have an L31 man. And when she got it for me, it wasn't like $100 or even like 100. It was expensive. Uh, Julie Newmar. I was a huge Dark Shadows fan. I remember watching. Now, obviously, I wasn't old enough when it came on the air originally. I watched it like in repeats, and I watched. I'm not sure. Does anybody else remember the show? There was a Canadian series, and it was pretty much Dark Shadows but Canadian, and it had oh god, what's his name? It was called Strange Paradise. So it kind of got a revival because here in Canada, when they started doing like a lot of those new, when we started like giving like rights for like new channels to come in, like we got like a horror channel and like we got like a lot of different channels, but one of the channels we got was the drive-in channel, and they showed like a lot of drive-in movies. They would like theme it by the day, like I think one would be Steamy Windows, would be like kind of more the hotter stuff, and there'd be like I think Monday or Tuesday had like Kung Fu. They'd have like a horror night, that type of thing. But in the afternoons, they would show Strange Paradise. Now, Strange Paradise had been, at that point, it was pretty much like a show that had been talked about, but not a lot of people had seen in years. And it was pretty much the Canadian equivalent to Dark Shadows. So if you're a fan of Dark Shadows, you might want to see if you can actually find some Strange Paradise, because it's kind of cool and kind of different. You're very much like low budget, like Dark Shadows is. People forget how low budget. Dark Shadows is a soap opera. Yeah, it was. It was like it was definitely it was a rip, but it was a fun rip off, and it did a different thing. Colin Fox, yeah, and he's one of those guys that you know his face, Colin Fox, but you rarely place the name with the face. You're just like, oh, I know that guy. That guy's from, and you're like, oh, because he's done so much stuff. Colin Fox is a Canadian actor. He's done so much different stuff. YT. What's YT? YouTube? Oh, okay. Sorry. Here I am on YouTube. But yeah, for a while you could find a lot of this stuff on YouTube. Now, YouTube, of course, has been like paring down on like shows and movies that, coming on like illegally type of thing. Which I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of okay with. I think that YouTube should be much like the PBS, and where it's like it's creator content, and like YouTube really needs to, in my opinion, give more credit and focus on little people like us. People that I may not be getting. We may not be bringing them in like PewDiePie levels of money or Logan Paul's, but it's the backbone of YouTube. There's only so many of those guys, and let's be honest, after a while, that they fall, the flavor of the year or whatever, it falls to the flavor, and then something else comes in, and there's always going to be someone else, and there's always going to be some type of thing. CBC television. That's CBC is the channel that I grew up with. We had two channels here, and there was CBC, which was the main one, and if you lived in a bigger area, you got NTV, and NTV would show things like the Captain Newfoundland show in the middle of the night, and the guy that did Captain Newfoundland was the guy that like ran the Newfoundland Herald, which was like a Newfoundland, like the TV guide that we had. A lot of drugs involved, I'm sure. If you're Canadian and you've ever heard of the Captain Newfoundland show, the Captain Canada show. So basically, the way that it worked is that you had this guy dressed up like Captain Newfoundland or Captain Canada, and he'd be flying around, and there'd be like music, like I Want to Go to India or some song like that playing in the background, and different like kind of trippy like things and lights and colors and all that playing. So it was quite the experience. If you ever get a chance to see anything of it, I recommend it. It's unique. We're gonna go with that. It's unique. CBC had some great stuff. They really did, and always depended on what you got. I mean, like there's like different CBCs, and they ran like different shows. Now, there was a time when the satellite went down for CBC, the CBC that I normally got. So what they had to do was he had to like bring in CBC from a different area, and they brought in CBC from I think it was from Quebec. So there's a lot of French programming, and I fell in love with the French programming. Because nudity, for one, it was great. Canadian TV is fantastic, and I love the way that you use the fantastic Mackenzie Brothers from SCTV. I'm guessing, David, you're a Mackenzie Brothers fan, or at least an SCTV fan. Canadian and British TV are very much joined. There's a lot of similarities in the style of programming and the pacing of their shows. A lot of British shows are very huge over here in Canada, and especially in like like Atlantic Canada. So places like Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, like things like Coronation Street, for instance. They have the Coronation Street like actors come over to Newfoundland all the time and promote the show. It's huge over here. We have like our own like style. We had our own like weird style shows. When I was a kid, there was a show called, and I think 13 Wolfman will probably remember this one, called Seeing Things with Louis Giccone. And it was about a guy named, I knew you did as soon as you said Jose's, that was a reporter named, and his family owns a bakery, and his wife has just kicked him out, married. She doesn't want, she wants to like, she's being an independent woman, she's finding herself. And he gets hit on the head with a bag of flour, first episode of the show. And from there on, he has, he's got, well, basically you can see through the future. Oh, that's where you watch EastEnders, really? Yeah, we were like, we had a lot of those shows like here growing up. But if you've never seen Seeing Things, it probably is going to come off as really cheesy now. But he's like this psychic dude. Would Cronenberg be the Spielberg? That's actually a nice thing to ask. What would Cronenberg be? I would say the Lynch, maybe. Maybe Cronenberg's the Lynch. David Lynch of Canada. Though I'm going to say something that's going to be like, I guess, semi-controversial. I prefer Cronenberg. And I definitely prefer Cronenberg to like later Spielberg stuff. Who would be the Spielberg candidate? That's a great question. I don't really know if we have an equivalent. But that being said, Spielberg was a guy that impressed me early on, and I'm not like a huge like fan of the later Spielberg stuff. Yeah, perfect. So, there you go. Oh yeah. Shivers was one of my favorites. It scared the hell out of me, Adrian, when I was growing up. I got the Steelbook that Arrow put out for Shivers, And I've got actually it's a better, actually Kubrick Lover, it's a better fit, like comparing those two, than it is like to compare like Spielberg and like and Cronenberg. So that is a better fit. I guess Cameron, yeah, he was born in Canada, so he's officially kind of favorite revenge films. God, Death Wish. I like the Death Wish films, like first two especially. Of course, there's the the Last House on the Left, which is kind of fun. Yeah, because James Cameron is like he's born in Canada, deals a lot with the fantasy stuff, does a lot more of the lighter stuff. Went into like doing some more serious stuff afterwards. I like the like Videodrome's fantastic. Scanners is a bit low. I love Scanners. It's just a bit lower on the list for me. I like the rawness of the early Cronenberg. Ivan Reitman, there you go. There's another great choice, actually. He's the guy that started doing like kind of some smaller stuff and kind of did Ghostbusters, stuff like that. That's very Spielberg-esque. But it depends. I guess the thing is to say Spielberg at what time period, because Spielberg has changed over the years, and some people think he's evolved for the better, and other people like me thinks his better stuff is his earlier stuff. Just my personal opinion on that. I prefer the more fantastical, like Spielberg-y stuff, the more feel-good Goonies-y style stuff. Oh no, he only directed the first Scanners film. Then the other Scanners films came out. No, actually, there's no derailing a conversation in this one here. It's just another turn, and it's always great. And because now we're getting into some actually really good Canadian. Norman Jewison is a Canadian LeMay. And I'm really glad. I'm really happy actually that a lot of you guys are mentioning these people, because I do think, and I think as Canadians, like overall, we do have like this kind of sometimes like an inferiority complex when it comes to our stuff. Or not so much an inferiority complex as we're like, oh, it's Canadian, maybe, let's not hype our own stuff type of thing. We do that sometimes, which I think is a super false modesty type of thing. I really do. But there's so many like great directors that have come out of and filmmakers that have come out of Canada, that like people would be amazed when they see like some of the people that have came. Let's face it, like Britain's got Doctor Who in a large part because there's a Canadian like that actually worked helped in the creation of Doctor Who as well. We kind of, it's part and parcel. We work well together when it comes to shows like this. And when I was growing up, I was kind of like more into like British TV than, and I would watch like some Canadian programs. I was not so much into. I'd watch a few of the American directors, but I hadn't seen a lot of them, so I saw a lot of the more commercial ones. So that was kind of left me not the greatest taste. Oh, well, actually, we started talking about box sets, and now we're talking about like Canadian directors, and kind of like parallels to Canadian directors and some of the more famous directors in other countries. Somebody just mentioned Adam McGuyan, who's done some amazing stuff, both as a actor and a director. There was a show, I think it was called something like Twitch City, something like that, that a Guyan acted in, which I think was really, really underrated, really well done. Also, we have our own newsroom here in Canada as well. I'm on Winnipeg. That was a Criterion release, wasn't it? Is that on the Criterion channel? Do you have the Criterion channel over there in the UK? I think it's only in Canada and the US now, right? Ah, Brian, my Winnipeg is actually a very big thing for Canadians. Do my glasses look slanted to you? When I slept last night, I think I slept on my glasses, and I can't unslant them because they'll break. Kind of sucks. Not there yet, because you guys got now. That being said, I think, I could be wrong, you can correct me if I'm wrong, David. Didn't you guys get film struck though? You had that before we did. Like, you know, the Criterion TCM amalgamation channel. I'm pretty sure you guys got film struck. So it's only fair that us in Canada finally, because we never got film struck, that we finally get our own Criterion channel. They don't actually, Cubic Lover, not yet. Like, as far as I know right now, the Criterion channel started on April the 8th, and as anybody who's watching my channel knows, I forgot what April the 8th was. They basically oh my god, they basically have, like, they have it in the US and in Canada, the actual Criterion channel. Now you may find some Criterion films on like an Amazon or something like that, but you won't find the Criterion channel in the way that you see it anywhere else right now except in North America. It is going to be branching out, so give it some time. I'm sure as as the popularity grows, as they see like as they work out like issues, distribution rights, stuff like that, because Criterion does sell like Criterion UK releases. But so you get like Criterion discs there, but the Criterion channel itself, give it time, and it'll eventually get there. Now, yeah, when it comes to like like we had Criterion, that was the big one. That one, like for that style of art house stuff. That's what we had. You guys got BFI, Masters of Cinema stuff. You guys had Eureka. Indicator came out. You have a wealth of these like kind of art house type of distribution labels, it's fantastic for me. As you can see, I've got you can see most of the Indicator box sets there. I've got the other two upstairs, which is the Samuel Fuller one, and of course the Western one with Bud Boddicker. Yeah, you think they want to release stuff that hasn't already been released, because I will go look, but I'm a huge fan of Masters of Cinema, and I'll check both to see, okay, which release do I want to get? Do I want to get the Criterion? Do I want to get the MOC release? Because the booklets in the Masters of Cinema releases, I love the UK for their booklets. There's just such good writing, such amazing stuff done. I can't even look at Easter sales. It's actually, it's just like monetarily right now, not going to be buying anything until the Vinegar Syndrome sale, which is in like late May, I think May 25th. So anybody that watched that video, thank you so much. It was like a huge video. I got to get more BFI down the road. I really do. Now, if you guys were watching my Instagram or my Twitter or my Facebook, any of that stuff, then you know that I made an announcement earlier on today, and that was what the Saturday video is going to be about. So I do want to get back. I want to make sure that these videos come on a consistent basis, and so that you guys know, like, okay, when to come in. So many, damn, these Easter sales. But like Kino's doing one right now as well. There's a big Kino sale. Actually, originally when I came down here to make a video today, that's what I was going to do. I was going to do my Kino collection and go through all my Kino titles and talk to you about the Kino sale that's going on. That was what my initial plan was going to be. Anyway, so my Saturday video is going to be on Stephen King. So Stephen King adaptations, both on the small screen and on the big screen. With the new Pet Sematary now in the theaters, and I just picked up season 1 of Castle Rock. Please don't spoil it for me. I haven't got a chance to watch yet. I'm going to binge it tomorrow, the entire 10 episodes. Oh, they are actually, yeah, the Cubic Lover. There's some Kino stuff coming on the Criterion channel, which is really cool, actually. Arrow gets you by making the booklets limited. I know. They didn't used to do that though, but I guess it's a smart move. It's a smart marketing move. Now, if you live over in the UK, sometimes you go to the grocery store, and The Shining, yeah, The Shining for sure. Adrian, both versions of The Shining, what we talked about. I'll be talking about all of the like pretty much all the stuff. Does that Kino sale include the redemption stuff? I'm not quite sure. If I make a video later on, what I'm going to do might be tonight, but maybe tomorrow, after I do some binge watching, then I'll talk a bit about the Kino sale. That'll be like my next video. That'll be probably my video before. Oh yeah, 14 titles actually on the Columbia Noir for Columbia Noir. Storm of the Century. So that's the thing. If you guys are going to be here Saturday, I hope you all are. Think about your what your favorite kings are, and we'll talk about them. I'll show you my king collection, the collection that I got of king. Are they releasing every day? I know they're doing like a weekly release, but if they're doing like a daily release, that's even better. Kind of like a slow burn type of thing. I actually kind of like that. And they'll let you know when things are coming too. They won't always have everything like right there. They'll have like a coming up section as well. So, and when they deal with like for Kino, like some of those are going to be more. They're not going to be like heavy on the channel and stay there. They're going to be, some of those are going to have like a time frame that they're going to be on there, much like Netflix does. And that's the that's the thing. They'll have like they may be doing like a month where they're doing like let's say like a Halloween month when you're going to get like a lot of like a different like Criterion stuff, maybe like horror stuff. They'll look into like some Kino stuff, like for instance like the Pete Walker stuff and that. The Pete Walker sets are awesome. Now, yeah, with King is having a big resurgence. Obviously, that started with It, and now we're getting we got the Pet Sematary. I haven't had a chance to see it yet. I hear it's pretty good. I hear it's different. I hear it's not quite as good as the original, and I wouldn't expect it to be. I think Mary Harmon's a great director, and there's just something about that original one. It's very, very close to its source material, and that's Stephen King obviously had a lot to do with that. So I do want to talk a lot about King. I unfortunately don't have Sleepwalkers. That's one that I did want to have and watch to before I did my King one. Ooh, that's interesting to hear. Don't spoil it for me though. I don't know. I know like the twist, like the main twist. He did. He went through he went through some hard times, and he's actually a really cool guy. I love King. Stephen King is one of the best Twitters. Just love seeing King's Twitter. He's awesome. Oh no, Mary Harmon directed the original, like Pet Sematary. She also, she did stuff like Andy Warhol, which you just mentioned, and of course, American Psycho. I'm pretty sure it was Mary Harmon. Now, I could be wrong, so. Yeah, that's the thing. And what killed me about The Dark Tower, the film, is that Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey, Mary Lambert, thank you, are so well cast. I've never met Stephen King. I've drove by his place, but in Maine. But no, I've never met Stephen King. I would love to meet King, because if for no other reason in the fact that when I was in high school, I wrote a lot, and I wrote like really dark, twisted stuff. And one of my teachers, like I said, I'm going to go and I'm going to act, but I got to go do this like journalism thing first. And my teacher would like read some of my stuff out in like in class, and like I'd write a story, and then it would go through like the teacher's lounge and stuff like that. And he'd say, "You're going to be the next King," and I'm like, "I'm so not." But thanks for the pressure. Thanks for the compliment and the pressure at the same time. That was not where I was going with my life. The Dark Tower movie wasn't bad for what it was, but I mean, as for an adaptation of the books, right? It was not a good adaptation of its source material. I think something like The Dark Tower is going to work better as a televised adaptation, like a high budget televised adaptation. Now that being said, Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey were well cast in both of those roles, as but it's just that it's a fun, like you watch The Dark Tower on its own as a film, and you don't take the books into play so much. You can enjoy it as its own, like kind of its own standalone film. It's just not a good adaptation when it comes to adaptations. Sutter King's the next. Sutter Kane. I love Sutter Kane. Okay, I'm not going to talk about this anymore because I'm going to talk about King in its own episode, and I think you guys will enjoy that. We'll go deep. We'll dive deep into like we'll go everything from like anything from we'll go and talk about The Stand, Sleep. I do have the DVD edition of Sleepwalkers. Maybe I'll check that out. Thinner, The Langoliers, a lot of crazy stuff like that. All I can say is, if you want to brush up on your King between now and Saturday, feel free to do so, and always check out check out Dance Macabre if you haven't read it, which is a nonfiction book that Stephen King did about horror and all like basically in TV, in books, and radio, and it's real and in film. It's really well done. It's Peter Jackson. Well, just ignore those Lord of the Rings books. Peter Jackson's such a Lord of the Rings fan. He would never. I think it's unfair to just call Stephen King like junk food, like books. It's the thing is that King can be mistaken for being lesser than he is because King does something brilliantly that a lot of writers don't do. He has the ear. He writes in a way that, you know, makes it easy to pick up, but not in like kind of, I wouldn't call it in a junk food way. He writes in a relatable way, and a lot of the way that some people talk in the books, if it rings true, yeah, and I think that's one of the big things. There's a Newfoundland writer that wrote like young adult stuff and went into like some more like more adult stuff. That by the name of Kevin Major. Now I'm slightly related actually to Kevin Major, so I just got to put that out there. But his, if you've ever read any of his stuff, it's kind of like Far From Shore, you know, stuff like that. It's very raw and it's very real, and when you read the dialogue, but it's like the dialogue feels like when you read Kevin Major, it feels like for me, like I'm a Newfoundland. I was a Newfoundland teenager, obviously. When I hear him talking, it sounds exactly like I talked, and my friends talked back in the day. But that's my thoughts on that. But it's always good. I love having like talks and like debates. No, 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 no. Never, 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 never compare King to Danielle Steele. Steele is, for me, now there are big Danielle Steele fans, and I don't want to belittle anybody that's a Danielle Steele fan. It's, you know, it's their bag. It's just not my type of thing. But I personally found that the Danielle Steele, that for me is what I at the time would, and I really hate to use the word like kind of like anyway like junk food like novels or cinema, because the thing is that it is though. That's the thing. You have to understand that people tend to link on to a name, for instance. Like you can say like, oh, like, well, like I grew up like reading like pretty much everything. I read everything from like Louis L'Amour to Vonnegut, Stephen King, to Judy Blume, and I literally I lived in a small town. I read everything in my library, and then I started getting stuff. When I realized you could get stuff come in, I would get like stuff. I would get stuff come in. Breakfast of Champions is like one of my favorite novels. But that being said, I don't. You can't put like people do this. They do this with cinema all the time, and they'll take like certain like authors and they'll put them. Okay, this, you know, this is the top. This is this is the higher echelon of authors. This is what you strive towards, or these are the guys that are they're deeper. than, like, say, for instance, the like King, or some of that type of stuff. But it's what hits you as a watcher, or a reader. It's what, like, rings true to you. I don't care if it's Vonnegut or if it's R.L. Stein's Fear Street. If something in that in the art that you're reading rings, like, hits you in a way that that's different or that's unique, it doesn't matter. And so that's why I really, like, hearken to say anything is like junk food, because what you may think may not work completely for you could be a feast for somebody else. It can hit somebody just where they need it, and for them, what may seem just like a surface, what may seem for you to be a surface level thing, could be something that's just layers and layers for them. And I will definitely agree that nonfiction can sometimes be more fascinating, even if you're watching The Dirt. One of my favorite authors, and was not an author that I guess was probably much known for, like, a lot of stuff, but I was a huge fan of God, I don't know, I can't even remember the name right now because I'm super tired. The Dirt was a Lifetime movie with nudity and cursing. That's what The Dirt was. I'm not, I'm no bones about it. It was fun, but it was as fun as Behind the Story, Mork and Mindy, Three's Company, Dynasty is fun. It's fun. It's not like The Dirt is never going to be mistaken for, like, one of the, this. It's never going to be a masterpiece theater, that type of thing. And that's the thing. I don't, but a lot of people love, just not just love Motley Crue, but love the book The Dirt. The book The Dirt apparently is really, really good. I've never read it. It's fun, but it's fun in the same way that that Saved by the Bell was, like, the movie was fun. It's going to have its own. It's definitely any, like, nonfiction, like, story that's done, whether it be written or be filmed, especially if it's about, like, a band or like a show or a film or something like that. It's always going to be slanted in the view of the writer. There's different. Everybody has their own take. The Doors. I see the Doors movie though. I enjoyed the Doors movie, but again, like you both, like you, I like the Doors. I like the Doors film. The Dirt it's a movie, but I don't consider it any higher than any of those behind the scenes movies that I saw, with, like, where they have, like, some guy playing I think Dan Castellaneta or something like that, playing Aaron Spelling and talking about, like, Three's Company or Mork and Mindy or any of those that came on, like, network television or Lifetime or one of those channels. I see The Dirt as on that level. It's but that's just me, right? Like, if it hits somebody and they really enjoy it, then fantastic. I enjoyed it for what it was. I just took it on, like, a surface level, just a fun hour and a half, and it's not something I'm going to think about down the road. And unfortunately, I think it was supposed to inspire people to go out and read the book, and it didn't. It didn't for me. Although people's, like, talking about how much they love the book did. And watching Screen Junkies and having, like, a couple of guys, like, really talking about how much fun it was. It was fun. I mean, like, I didn't expect it to be right on. I don't know a lot behind the scenes about Motley Crue. I know that the abusive guy, that didn't get played. The only was, like, he hit a girl in one sequence, but that was the only thing that came up. I guess he wanted to keep it lighter, but he had a history of, like, abuse with from what I know, and I don't know a lot about the band. I know their music, but I don't know a lot about behind the scenes of the band. So for me, like, everything could have been wrong, everything could have been right on. Like, seeing Bohemian Rhapsody, I like that. as I'm watching it, I was on the lines of, yeah, that ain't right. That ain't right. That timeline doesn't work. Uh, the I would say 13 Wolfman that more than likely they probably got more right than Bohemian Rhapsody did. I'll say that. Bohemian Rhapsody doesn't even try to get things. Oh, dude, beyond not quite accurate. Have you seen Bohemian Rhapsody? Oh, it is beyond now. You know, Rami Malek, great job for what he has to do. Nothing wrong with the actors, but as for, it wasn't just cookie, it was wrong. I can't just, the best thing I can say. Um, oh God, what is it? There's a channel, and I saw the movie. I'll always watch a movie before I'll watch any of these. There's like these things called pitch meetings, which are kind of comical, humorous like versions of like basically where guys like kind of a fake pitch meeting of a movie that came out, right? Oh, you can forget the gloss over thing. That's the least of the issues with this film. Uh, there's a guy that does this thing called pitch meetings, and they're just funny, like kind of like neat little takes on popular films. So after watching Bohemian Rhapsody, I was really irked by a lot of it, and then I watched the pitch meeting of Bohemian Rhapsody, and it just like, yes, that's everything that that I want to say about this film. Uh, every wrong thing that I want to say about this film is in that. So Screen Rant, pitch meeting, Bohemian Rhapsody, check it out. Uh, I'm gonna just put out this out there. I'm gonna say this right now, for the Queen thing, which is fun. Like the same as the Dirt is fun. It's fun, but I consider them in the same category. And Suicide Squad. When Suicide Squad came out, and you can see like 30 Minutes talking about the accident, actually giving you what really happened, because I had no idea. Actually, I'm gonna have to read this back afterwards. When Suicide Squad, like before it came out, they showed a trailer. They played awesome Queen song over that trailer, and it made that trailer look epic. It made everybody think Suicide Squad was going to be a fantastic film, and not the massive train wreck that we got instead. So when you watch a movie on a group like Queen, and it's pretty much here's some drama, here's a Queen, here's a Queen song, here's some drama, here's a Queen song. You're so enamored with the Queen music that you're hearing, you kind of let other things pass. You know what I mean? A lot of those movies do well overseas. Like I mean, like The Rock, like everything The Rock does well overseas. We know whether if you consider it good or not. Well, actually, they're not making a sequel really. Not so much. They're kind of a sequel, kind of a reboot, kind of a redo of it. Obviously, like people that aren't going to be in it. They got a new director because the director they had was, I'm not going to lie, he was horrible. And we're not going to see the Joker. Obviously, Jared Leto's Joker, as far as I know, is gone from the DC universe. Uh, Good riddance. uh, and there was so much that could have been done well. Ire lost his. See, I would love to just say, like that. Okay, well, Ire didn't get to didn't get to basically talk about like, well, Ire didn't get the right cut of the Suicide Squad. But one thing, like, gets me wrong, like hits me hard, and Ire did, however, create the version of the Joker that we see in the Suicide Squad. That's Ire. That's his doing. his gangsta version of the Joker that dresses up like a dude cosplaying as a Joker, like an emo kid cosplaying as a Joker, but never, never, ever, ever seems like the Joker. It is the only time that in like live action, that I've seen a Joker come around that has nothing, like nothing. And we're not talking about a bad actor. Jared Leto is a really good actor, so there should be no excuse for what he did. And there should like, and the thing is that we're so stuck by what they do that of that look, that stupid look with the insane tats and the damage on the forehead. Like, who wrote this? Like a 12-year-old? I went on a rant there, guys. Went on a rant. You guys are talking about your own stuff there. But I went on my David Ayer rant where I really wanted to like the Suicide Squad. I saw it when I was in London, and it was I was not happy. But there you go. That's my thoughts on that film. Some people love my kids, like they like it much more than I do, and they maybe it's different for a different generation too. I'm older. Yeah, I gotta understand that. Some movies I'm like the crotch shield guy. Like, get off my lawn, kids. Some movies are gonna hit me like that. Jared Cost Concrete, my favorite film in that too. Gibson, Vince Vaughn. I love Vince Vaughn. Actually, I heard they're not now. They were going to make one, but they're not going to do that now. Let's just say it wasn't exactly a big response to it. There's no fist pumping for the Joker. There's no clapping sequences for that. It's pretty quiet. Yeah, the Joker Harley film's off the table now, I think. They're making Birds of Prey. Now, yeah, and they've taken the Joker pretty much out of the Birds of Prey film. They're going to have like a kind of a cameo where I don't think we're really going to see the Joker. We're going to basically, Harley's going to break up the Joker probably at the beginning. We're not going to really see like Jared Leto or anything like that. But as far as I know right now, that they didn't have a reason for this one, David. So just but yeah, no. For right now, we're getting a Birds of Prey. Leto's out. We're going to get a new Suicide Squad film. It's going to be very different, and it's going to use a lot of different like characters than we're using the first one. And we'll be getting from DC. We'll be getting what looks to be the Fantastic Joker film, like kind of its own standalone, like alternate universe version of the Joker, played by Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin. Oh God, I can't ever get the name right. Guys, can somebody write down the pronunciation of his name? Because I always get it wrong. I'm a DC Marvel. I like the movies and I like them both. I mean, for different reasons. I don't believe in tribalism. Joaquin Queen. Thank you, Kubrick lover. I always get it wrong, and I always got to have somebody come on here and get it right for me. Pronunciation not my thing. Yeah, like let them all be fun. I mean, enjoy them both. Joaquin. So Joaquin. So there we go. It's okay. I screwed up even worse. So, so basically, my thoughts. I like both of them. There's certain films in each of their franchises, like each of their universes, that I'm not huge fans of, but the silly thing that I think is that is the whole kind of like, what's the word? There's the edgelord philosophy to it all, And edgelord's a word that I really don't know a lot about, but apparently it's kind of like, you know, somebody that's like edgy for the sake of being edgy. Something. I'm not young. Maybe I shouldn't be using these words. But there's the fight that I see like in a lot of forums and all this type of stuff is that people like real hardcore like fans of like DC think that Marvel is too light and DC is the more realistic, darker tone, and Marvel, and so the Marvel fans think that, you know, the DC just isn't getting anything right at all, and they can't compete on the same level. They're both comic book like companies, and they both have superheroes, but they're very, very different. I think of like the Joker film as a very low budget film, in a way. Uh, like uh, the new Joker film. It's if you've if you're a fan of Scorsese and you've seen the King of Comedy, for instance, the Joker. From what I've seen of the Joker, it's very much in the style of the King of Comedy or like a Taxi Driver type of thing. I can't defend the Spirit, man. I know you like it. I'm not a fan. I'm a bigger fan of the Sam Jones TV movie, The Spirit, that came out back in the day. I'm a huge fan of the comic book, of the comic strip for The Spirit. I'm a huge Will Eisner fan. That's why I don't like the film The Spirit, actually. I loved the Will Eisner Spirit. I grew up with it. It was one of those comics that I read and I kind of got people into. So there's a lot of things it can be fun. Charles Banks. Well, they're kind of, in a way, if you watch the trailer, although it's not Rupert Pumpkin, it's it there's, you know, the character that De Niro plays pretty much could could be that. Because in King of Comedy, oh, David Gallagher, you've seen it. In King of Comedy, no, that's what his character he wants to be. He wants to be where the Jerry Lewis character is. He wants to be that host. So it's really I'm excited. Aquaman, I loved Aquaman, and just to show you like how much I like both, I watched Spider-Man, the new animated film, and Aquaman. That was my double feature. I went to the theater, went and saw the Spider-Man film, loved that. And did I say pumpkin? It's just one of those days, man. Just have one of those off days. So I probably did. um, and then I watched Aquaman right after. I loved them both. I really did. I think that Aquaman is exactly what they should. Do I have the? All right. This one? See, I kind of have to have that one. My better half is born in Casablanca. Her one of her sisters actually lives in Casablanca, and she's moving actually to Marrakesh now. No, no, you mean a great big one? No, I don't. I wish I did. Especially where it's like a favorite film from my better half, and you know that is like legitimately where she's from. I thought that was super cool. She's like, she's never really thought of it that way, but you know, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Gotta go to Rick's place. Apparently there really is a Rick's place. That was made obviously after the movie type thing. Because I thought, you know, if there's not a Rick's place, I totally got to do that. Oh, that's a nice one. See, that's the big one. I don't have the bigger one. Though I do have the best set of Harry Potter that was put out. And yes, I do like it better than the Castle set. Have you seen Fern Gully? If you've seen Fern Gully, you just might have seen... Yeah, I got the trunk set, which I do consider the definitely the best set for the Harry Potter. I've seen them all, but the trunk set is amazing. That was literally one of the ones I was going to bring down for this video, but it is just so freaking heavy, and there's just way too much to get into. Like I did a video on the trunk set. I don't know, maybe I didn't film it well, or and it didn't get like overall the best viewer like ship when it came to that set, which I was really disappointed with because I had so many people ask me to show the Harry Potter trunk set on camera. So finally I said, okay, it's a massively heavy thing to carry down and go through, so I did it. And I'm not sure how its like viewership is now, but it didn't normally do it. I got the Willy Wonka one, the big one with the, yeah. I don't have the Ten Commandments or the Sound of Music one. I'm actually not a huge fan of the Sound of Music. I know, I love a lot of musicals, but like Sound of Music was never one that really like stuck with me. I prefer to watch Nicholas Hammond's better work in Spider-Man, the TV series. That's my Sound of Music connection. That's what I like. No, I've never been a huge fan of this. I'm like Christopher Plummer. That neither one of us were that big on the Sound of Music. He actually was one of the stars of it, and he doesn't like it. But I think my dad did too, actually. My dad's like a big musical fan, Kubrick lover. He's a huge, like way bigger than me. He's like, love them all. But I was never like into the Sound of Music. So when Christopher Plummer came out and said, you know, I didn't. That's a film that I made that I don't like. I was like, yeah, okay, I can feel okay, like not liking it now. That's kind of a sigh of relief, actually. Oh, Where's the Oz? Gotta watch, man. Any fan of? Singing in the Rain is fantastic. Singing in the Rain is, as much as is known, as much as has been said about Singing in the Rain, I still think it's like underrated. Oh, my better half would kill for a Studio Ghibli set. My favorite musicals are probably the grungy ones, the ones that most people won't talk about and won't admit to liking, or they will admit to, oh, I kind of like that one. Silent Partner, Christopher Plummer, best work for me, and of course, Murder by Decree, other great Christopher Plummer film. But I like the cheesy stuff. I like the real, out there, non-apologetic musicals. I like the Shock Treatments and the Rocky Horror Picture Shows and the Greases and the Grease 2s, the musicals that are out there that some people won't admit to liking, but I will. I will not as a guilty pleasure. I like those films. I find them fun, and especially like films like Shock Treatment, which was so ahead of its time. Phantom of the Paradise, again, another fantastic one. And what the best thing when it came to Grease 2 is one of my favorite one of my big crush, of course, is Drew Barrymore. Definitely on the Google Doc list. And she loves Grease 2. And I'm like, I know all the words, 13 Wolfman, to every Grease song, the original and the sequel. Are you doing you're doing like a production of Grease there in China? Did you guys hear the news about Grease? Have you heard? So apparently, you can check this out. It's rumored. They're making a prequel to Grease called Summer 11. And I'm all for adding on to a franchise or doing something like that. But you know what I'm not a fan of? This has horrible written all over it. And Brothers Sherberg, I love them, Brothers Sherberg. Definitely were. You know what, mediocre, really? There's a better film called The Young Girls, in my opinion. The Young Girls of Rochefort. And if you haven't seen that one, it's a shock to me. I find it better. It's got Gene Kelly on it. Oh, nice. So your time difference, there's got to be a huge time difference right now. There's in there, right over there in China. Because my kids are huge, like, they want to go, they have like different places, like that they want to go. They want to go to China. They want to go to Japan. They want to go to like South Korea, places like that. And you know, once they finish their schooling and stuff, that they'll get to do that. There's a Demi box set. I didn't know there was one actually. Oh, the Jack Demi box set. Okay. You said I said Demi, and I thought of like Jonathan Demi. So I'm like, is there a Jonathan Demi box set that I don't know about? But yeah, the Jack Demi box set, really good. Podan is donkey skin. In English, donkey skin. Donkey skin is really is a really kind of good twisted Grimm's fairy tale. Definitely gonna like it. It's Catherine Deneuve. Oh yeah, they like. I know a little bit about about Asian cinema. They're definitely experts, and to the like my youngest speaks Korean, taught South Korean, and my eldest has been teaching herself one of the Japanese dialects. Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna get a Hamilton film, and definitely I think there's a Wicked film being made, but Hamilton is definitely one to do down the road, I think. It's yeah. I never knew of like donkey skin until I met my better half actually. So that was one of the fairy tales I was not aware of, and I hadn't seen the film. And so that was like she introduced me to a lot of the work of Jacques Demy that I think I'd seen one and I didn't pick up on like the director, but she definitely helped me delve into that world. I was fairly ignorant to it. So it's nice that I've got a better half that's from a different area, and a lot of the films that she watched a lot of French cinema growing up. So people like Jean-Paul Belmondo, and a lot of the French films were things that she was like very very versed in. I like when it's a varied chat. Actually, it's different. I mean, and we've definitely gone into like a lot of unique, different stuff here tonight. Like I just started doing like unique box sets, and it went into unique talk. Uh, so that's always a good thing. Hopefully people look back at this. What's my most anticipated film? Actually, The Joker is probably right now one that I'm really looking forward to. I'm trying to think what's coming out this year. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, definitely high on the list. I'm a huge fan of. I'm a Tarantino fan. I'm an unabashed Tarantino fan. Um, yes, it's as if the French were foreign or something. I love that comment, by the way. But I don't know. But what's just standing out right now is for me is the Joker film really stood out, and the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood stands out. What I'm not looking forward to, Lion King, looks pretty, but I've seen it, and it's not meant for me. I think the new Lion King movie is meant for like a younger demographic, and it's going to be their version of the Lion King, and that's fantastic. But it's not a me thing. It's I've seen it. I saw it when it was Kimba, the White Lion. So yeah, wouldn't it be neat if they actually did slip a Kimba reference in there? Yeah, I'll be honest. Lion King is one where I was kind of mad. Oh, The Irishman. Actually, I haven't seen a lot of that one, so I'm actually kind of interested in that. John Wick 3. Does that come out this year? John Wick 3. Of course, there's Star Wars. I totally forgot. Star Wars is coming out, isn't it? Like the final one, like the finishing off the Skywalker like portion of Star Wars, and then there's this new stuff from there on, like just going different places with the universe. I'm actually looking more forward to seeing where they go afterwards, with like unique storylines that don't have to be beholden to anything else. May? Oh, so much coming out. Of course, Endgame. I want to see Endgame. I'm very excited about Endgame. I think for a lot of people, Endgame is going to be like one of the most anticipated films of the year. I think that Endgame is going to be the best. Like that's going to be the highest rated film, like highest like grossing film in a long time. I'll make a prediction here. That's not a hard prediction to make. Endgame's going to make a lot of money. I keep seeing commercials for that one, The Curse of La Loma, but I haven't really got to see the trailer. I'm going through Facebook and it'll say, don't turn up the sound to this one here. And when they say something like that, I can't. I just can't. It takes me out. I'm like, don't turn up the sound. I'm like, okay, and I just scroll on through. But I think that the new Star Wars film, I think it'll do okay. I think that there's people that aren't going to like it. There's a. It does like, but it's the trailer when they say that it just takes me out of it. I think they'll do okay with the Star Wars film. I mean, like I thought most of the. Solo got dumped on a lot, and it's not a perfect film, but it's not a bad film either. I mean, if you're going into Star Wars and you're not expecting to see kind of a fun, popcorn type of film, what have you been watching? What do you think you've been watching for the last like 20 years? Yeah, Ron Howard. Like, what exactly are you expecting? Like, I mean, in all seriousness, and not like in all sincerity, like, people like what they're gonna like, and some people are gonna like it, some people aren't gonna like it, but you know, like it based on the merits of the film. And I will totally agree. I think that the worst part of Solo is actually Solo. The actor was okay, but man, Harrison Ford, it's a really hard role to like. It's really hard role to master. Ford is like he's one of a kind. It's a heist film, and I liked heist films. So that that was a plus going in for me. I do think that people unrightfully politicize some films. Like you get some people like ragging on Captain Marvel for utterly ridiculous reasons, and that has nothing to do with the film. That has more to do with different things, and I really feel uncomfortable talking about that, but I think it's true, and that like I saw, like for instance, I saw Captain Marvel, like when I talk about like Marvel DC, I saw Captain Marvel in the theater twice. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun film, and it really bothered me, like a lot of the meanness that you find online. Like a lot of the meanness, I guess I'm not that type of person. It would have been interesting to see what Lord Miller would have done. It really would have been. But if you haven't seen Solo, Cubic Lever, just go in knowing it's an okay film. Don't get expecting like too much out of it. I think it's a heist film. It's a space heist film. With the usual heist things, with the twists and turns and like characters turning and different characters, that type of thing. That's what it is. The character that plays Solo was probably the weakest part of the film. When it comes to that, like that's my thoughts on Solo. Like it, some people are gonna like it, some people are not gonna like it. That's like the Star Wars film. Last Jedi was very divisive with some people, and for me, I just thought it was a fun film. I didn't like take more out of it than that. I didn't have. Then again, I didn't have, and this may be an unfair thing to say, but I'm gonna say it. I didn't have like my own like super like fan theories or fan fiction written up that I was upset that my fan fiction didn't show up as part of what's his name, Liam Johnson's Rian Johnson, I think. God, I'm getting names all wrong tonight. Rian Johnson's like film that he made. So yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. Rogue One's my favorite so far, Cubic Level. Like, just uh, out of all the ones that have been done, like recently, I think Rogue One is my favorite. It's I just like it. I mean, it's a bit of a dark film, and it's definitely like darker, especially for Star Wars. I guess I never understood tonally, and I always like to say like, yeah, I gotta like take into the consideration. I'm not the when Lucas made the prequel films, I'm not the target audience for that. Uh, you know, it's not a. But I just found it odd that you know, it's like it's you know, I thought like my kids would probably be the target audience for that. And like when you show things like the race, the pod race, and all that type of stuff, and even Jar Jar Binks, which some people didn't like. You know, I didn't mind. Like that's it's a kids thing. You know, that's for kids. It's just that the kind of the parliament aspect of it and the talking and this and whatever the Senate or whatever the heck they called it, it just seemed like really like an odd choice for like a film that you think would probably be targeted towards like a younger demographic. It just seemed like an odd choice for me. Uh, oh no, it's okay to hate a film. It's okay to love a film. I just think it's when you take your hatred to a level that you denigrate the opinion of an opposing viewpoint, uh, that it becomes something it can become something that it never should be. Um, like there are films I hate that I really don't like, and I know some of my best friends like are huge fans of them. I'm actually a big fan of David. That's the one where I am a fan. I think Rogue One for me, and I did watch that one in the theater, and I bought it afterwards and I watched it again. That's one of the ones that I like more. And I do understand that you know there's definitely some cheesy aspects to it, and every character's like decision, like major decisions made by blowing something up. Like I know that, but I still enjoy it. I really like the film for what it is. It had kind of a diverse cast, like different characters. I mean diversity, but I mean like just like uniquely different characters, and it's a world I enjoyed. It's horrible the way that a fan base can treat an actor. Well, some actors that actually, when they go back and they say things like whispers. Uh, the guy that played Jar Jar Binks, he was an actor doing a role and was very excited to do it. Jar Jar Binks is far from my favorite character in in Star Wars, nor should he be, because it's I'm not. But that being said, it's like the Jar Jar Binks hate is kind of like back in the day the Ewoks got a lot of hate, right? Like people were like teddy bears type of thing. Yeah, that shouldn't be in Star Wars. Why don't they go and do the other, you know, make it a whole planet of Chewbacca's type of thing. You know, the Wookiee stuff. But you know, there's always a fan base. Like it's not new. This nasty side of fandom is it's not new. It was back in our day too. It's just that now there's a bigger outlet for it. And you know, like just go back and read the wet letters pages on things like Starlogs or like the old like Fangos and stuff like that. You know, they have some pretty like vitriol, like venom and vitriol like letters where people like really mad about certain things. And he's such a and he's like a such he seems like such a nice guy too, man. Um, I remember him. I'm a huge fan of a series called The Equalizer with Edward Woodward. You know, they made a couple movies out of it, like action movies. But I'm a fan of the original series. I'm actually watching it through right now, and Zabka plays the son of Edward Woodward's character in the Equalizer in the series. It's a really good show. If you've never seen it, like definitely check it out. That's one of my favorite crime shows. If you want to talk about one of my favorite crime shows, big Equalizer fan. A huge Edward Woodward fan, like across the board. But and Revenge too. Like fantastic show for stuff like that. And if you're like a horror fan, if you like Friday the 13th and stuff like that, and like say you like Friday the 13th Part 5, you know, with I think it's not Don Matthews, but was it John Shepard who played in Part 5? I'm horrible at names tonight. It's just having one of those nights. I apologize. Anyway, so the actor from Part 5 that plays Tommy Jarvis is in an episode of The Equalizer. It's a really good episode, actually. Callan's good too, but I love The Equalizer. And and it's an episode where his wife gets raped, and he wants to and he wants revenge. It's a really, really good episode. There's two people played. Well, Tom Moore made Jason, and like there was like, but no, I mean like the guy that played like Tommy Jarvis. I think his name is John Shepard. For the life of me, I'm not having a good night with names. And I'll be completely honest. I went to get blood work done today because I just got a new doctor, and I was binging a show last night, and I'm running right now on literally like 90 minutes sleep in the last like 48 hours. So, needless to say, I'm probably going to crash after I finish this video. Anyway, we've talked about a lot of stuff. I've gotten a lot of names wrong. I've pronounced a lot of things wrong. Maybe I'll have to give up my professorship. Maybe that's what I'll have to do. And I've drank a bit of Fresco. But most of all, whether we agree or we disagree, we do it in a fun way. Oh, perfect. In that we learn from each other and have a bit of fun. And I think that's one of the things that I like about this here, about like talking with you guys and about this channel, is that sometimes once in a while we will get like the occasional troll or something like that come in to here. But one thing that I actually I'm very proud of, like, and I'm very proud of you guys for, is that you guys have done a lot to ensure that it's not conducive for them in this type of environment. And you guys rock for not just for that. You rock on a regular basis, but that's like a huge deal for me. It's one of the things that like kept me going in doing this, is that I'll be honest, each and every one of you, whether we agree, whether we disagree, I have a lot of like I have a lot of respect for every one of you in here, and I learn a lot from you guys. I really do. Like whether it's a movie, or drug killers, or whatnot. It's just been a blast. Now, because I'm going to pimp this because I hope you guys have listened. I'm kind of nervous, but I did my second episode of Just This, episode 101, and hopefully I'll be back on it again. But we talked about like 3 films. We talked about Graydon Clark's Wacko. We talked about Richard Haynes' Splatter University, and of course that great Ralph Kaninsky. We talked about There's Nothing Out There. If you haven't listened to it, then you get to hear me rambling on a bit and Brian like reined me back in. So it's I'm kind of proud of it. So if you get a chance to listen to it and give it a, I hope you liked it, David, and you know, give it a, I'm not sure, thumbs up. How do you do the rating thing of those things? But much appreciated. And I'm just like grateful that Brian was nice enough to actually to do that. Oh no, it's not on this channel. It's actually a podcast that I was invited on to once, and I got to come back, and I'm kind of becoming the Vinegar Syndrome guy. Dot Haynes, Karen Carpenter film with Barbie dolls. Oh no, I don't. I'm intrigued though. Oh yeah, like Just the Disc is, and Brian is fantastic. I love his work that he does with Stephanie and with Rob Gluza. Fantastic stuff. Hey John, you're coming in just as we're leaving, which is a shame because I had a lot of fun with you the other day. Is it on YouTube? But definitely check out it's on, like, if you got like Apple, or if you got iTunes, or you have Google, or any of that type of stuff. If you got a podcast thing, Just This podcast. Episode 101 literally dropped when we were when we were making the episode of that last one on Vinegar Syndrome. And yes, if you do not listen to Pure Cinema, you're missing out, because both Brian and Elric Kane, they got a really great rapport together. And Pure Cinema is a great podcast. I'm pretty sure, like, as a Kubrick lover, listen to Pure Cinema for sure. Now it's a great one. I do. There's a few great podcasts out there. Projection Booth is really good as well. Like, check that one out. Screamcast with Stephanie and Brad, definitely. Thank you. My better half was when I was really nervous about listening to it. I always am, and my dad, because that called CQ. Oh, I got that here somewhere. Now that being said, 13 Wolfman here has something that he could promote as well, because he does one. Yeah. And it is on YouTube, and a Screamcast, which is Stephanie. If you like Stephanie Crawford, she comes on here, talks a lot. Then definitely check that out, because she's really, and she does write-ups. I think it's on about Tales from the Crypt, the series as well, she does really good write-ups on that. What we'll do sometime, guys? Well, I'll go in where I have, like, I guess, dipped my toe into the world of podcasting, of guesting. We'll do like a portion of an episode where we'll actually talk about some of our favorite podcasts, and that way we can open up maybe some new doors to each other and give each other some new ideas. But we're waiting for that. Thank you, everybody that's already listened to the Just of This podcast. Check out 13th Wolfman. Check out Kubrick Lover. Check out all these guys here. Check guys like Corey, guys that have their own channels and their own stuff that they do, whether it's their solo stuff or with 13th Wolfman. They do the podcast as well, which is almost like a video one, because you guys do the video portion of it, and they interview a lot of really cool people. But I am headed out to probably rest up. I'm really tired, guys. I kind of want to watch some Criterion Channel. I kind of want to watch the first episode of Castle Rock. Either way, thank you, because I like tonight, 13 Wolfman, I'm blanking on names, as you know. So I apologize for blanking on the name. And literally, guys, I'm not going to lie. If I don't seem tired, I really am. It's time for tea. Have a great night. Thanks for joining me in the movie club.